Tutorial, to teach you how to shoot objects flying in the sky. Okay, now, I'll read it, so I'll make it more concise. So, first of all, the shots must be done 20 minutes after nightfall, when it is already dark on Earth, while high up in the sky, at an altitude of 100 kilometers, it is still day because the sun is still there. Therefore, any object that flies in the sky, at that height, it is still illuminated by the sun, and filming should possibly be continued for 2 hours, and I mean, the 2 hours following sunset. Because if you go beyond this 2 hours, then it gets dark and night, even at 100 kilometers height, and flying objects over there, you may not see them anymore, because they are no longer illuminated by the sun. Because UFOs or satellites don't have headlights, like cars. So use a camera, which also, above all, makes videos manually, and by manual, I mean being able to set both the ISO, which is the sensitivity of the film, and both the iris aperture, and also the shutter time, but still must be manual, even the focus. The ISOs are the sensitivity of the film. They should be positioned at 6400 ISOs, if possible, while the shutter, which is the time we give to each frame, should be approximately 1/50th of a second. Iris, which would be the maximum possible lens aperture to let in more light into the lens, should be set to the smallest number, and if you have a 1.8 or 2.8 iris lens, these would be ideal. Manual focus and aperture should be like a telescope or binocular as this one I'm using. This is a 200 mm, but what you have, the important thing is that you focus manually and that the aperture is positioned on the smallest number, and always set all in manual mode. Slap the engineers who created the automatisms. For it is essential to put the camera on a tripod, and aim it at a fixed point in the sky, and never move it, which from personal experience, it is better never to move, for the entire time of shooting the video. The video recording must be continued, for at least 30 minutes, or even an hour or 2 hours, then the video recordings must be looked at again, with the computer, and it is logical, that watching, even just half an hour of video, it will be very boring, and therefore, in order not to get bored, we must use the video player, which is called VLC, which also allows us to increase the times of what we see on the recorded video, by 8 times the real time, and therefore, a half hour of video recorded, we could see it again in 5 to 6 minutes. Using a telephoto lens, which if it were, at least 100 or 200 mm would be excellent. But if you have a 1000 mm, that's even better. Yes, if you are going to use a 1000 mm, then stretch your arm out, in front of you, like this and form a C, with your hand, while you have your arm stretched out, in front of you, and I repeat with your thumb and forefinger to form a C, and look at the sky. Looking inside this C, and this is the sky space, which takes up or a 1000 mm, while if you use a 200 mm, then close the 3 inside fingers of the hand, and you will have the thumb and little finger open and stretch out your arm towards the sky, and look inside your hand, and look at the sky, and what you see inside, would be the portion of the sky that frames the 200 mm. Never use the camera automatically, but you will always have to act manually, also and above all the focusing, I repeat, because if you automatically focus a star with automatic autofocus, then you cannot focus it in the right way because the star is very small. Therefore if you can use a lens that has the ability to focus manually, such as a spotting scope or binocular, because with an objective that focuses like a telescope, the result is excellent. All manual also for the shutter speed, and always use a tripod. And, never go freehand, so if some of you are good experts with cameras you obtain the good result, and if there will be many of us to act as I explained, well, these video phenomenologies will be a lot around as evidence, because I can't always do everything by myself, and therefore I have instructed you on how you must act. Best regard, Tony Zecchinelli, Tanya Keenethley @gmail.com.